Hello, my name is Marius Mocan. I'm a realtor here in the Sarasota, Florida area. This is not a mega hat. Let's get into it.
خیال کردم در آغوشی تو بودم وی سراسی مقامت هوشی تو بودم سراسی مقامت هوشی تو بودم تو شادخت بودی و با شان و شوکت وی غلامی حلقه در گوشی تو بودم غلامی حلقه در گوشی تو بودم
Father God, bless you and your family. Pray, Father God, bless your business. Thank you so much for precious food. God bless you. Hallelujah.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Discover SRQ. Today we have Jake Nix in the studio. Jake, please tell us more about Make America Gospel Again.
Yeah, well, number one, thanks for having me in this incredible studio, brother.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, it's great, man. Make America Gospel is it's a simple message with a complex background. The gospel simply means the good news. That's it. The good news. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it, but a simple breakdown is the good news. And for us, it is how do we make America the good news of the world again? And that's really the goal. Is how do we bring the good news from America to other countries again and inside of our own country? So that's kind of the basis for what it means.
Thank you for sharing that. And just to give you a little bit of background, I ran into you at the Banana Republic at the local mall here in Sarasota, Florida, and I saw your hat. I immediately thought it was a mega hat, right?
Yep.
But I read it closely and I said, wow, okay. And I approached you and I said, hey, I really like your hat. And you kind of went into letting me know this was your brand. And tell us more about how you came up with this concept and what exactly the goal is.
Yeah, so I came up with this brand and trademarked it about two and a half years ago. I had kind of gotten to a point where you see everything going on in our country, and you really just sit back and you think, like, dear God, like this is not what any of us thought America was. When so many things come out about our government and corruption and all these things, I'm like, God, like. It's just insanity, and really sin has taken over so much in our political, or in the politics, and you just see this whole line of greed, just disgusting greed from these politicians, people who couldn't run a business, are put in power to make decisions over millions and millions and billions of dollars,
Trillions.
Yeah, it's insane. I'm like, y'all can't even balance a budget.
Right.
How much debt are you in? And you're going to tell me how to live my life? It came about over a time of just kind of coming to terms with the insanity that we're dealing with as a country. And no amount of politics is going to fix that. Because once you get in that position, it's just, and you're hit with the same greed where you've got Republicans and Democrats, and it doesn't matter who. There's greed all across the board.
Yeah, we're not being political, like going right or left or anything like that. We're just talking about in general how America is not what it used to be back in the 50s.
And it really comes back to, in the book of Isaiah in the Bible, I'm a big 100% believer in Jesus Christ. That is the number one main focus. So anybody who's watching this, I 100% believe and know that he's the way, the truth, and the life. And I have to tell you that because that is the most important thing in my life. The business is second. God, my family, in business. So if I've got a chance to reach somebody, hey, I'm going to tell you the truth first before I tell you anything else that doesn't really matter.
We get tied up in business. Just now, before we started, I sat down like I normally do my routine. I said a quick hello to you, and I looked at the camera, did my intro, and you're like, whoa, what are you doing? We got to pray before we get started. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. Let's pray.
100%. And you can feel when you include God, the atmosphere changes. Everything changes when you make all of your plans with God in mind. Then he gets to order your footsteps. And think about how smart God is, right? We think about AI. AI is nothing compared to God, right? AI can do so much that our human finite brains can't. But you think about God on a massive scale. He created everything. He knows the beginning to the end. He knows your life. He knows what tomorrow looks like. He knows what the next minute looks like. And for me, it's like, how could I be so foolish to try to take my own life in my own hands and figure all this stuff out? Like, God knows. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, tomorrow or the next day at all. I can maybe guess, but God really knows. And so the same thing of putting God in this scenario is the same thing. We've got to put God back in this country. And this nation was founded on religious liberties. 100%. People want to say, it's not found on Christian religion or whatever. Yeah, there's a separation of church and state, 100%, because we didn't want to be ruled by the church, kind of like England. 100%. But when you put God at the forefront of something, that's the magic sauce. That's what we're missing. Not politics, not this leader, not that leader. It is simply a nation coming together and saying, you know what? They got something right at the beginning. That's the only reason why this nation lasted this long. And if we can go back to that roots, all these other problems are going to change. 100%.
We definitely need a revival in this country and bringing God back in the conversation, because you're definitely right about the direction things have kind of gone, and we've lost that path as a country.
Yeah. And what's the beautiful thing about, a lot of people have, would comment online like, keep God out of it. Like, you can't force anybody to be, religious. Like, 100%. Like, we believe in 100% freedom of speech, freedom of lifestyle. That's what makes America great. You can do, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, you can do whatever the heck you want to do. You can be, if you want to be a dog, go be a dog. If you want to be a cat, go be a cat. It doesn't affect me.
Right. If you're homosexual, trans, whatever, we accept you, we love you. That's not what we're saying here for sure.
Yeah, if that's a decision that you made as an adult,
right?
As an adult making that decision, you get to do it. It doesn't affect me. I'm not weirded out by people like that at all. We love them 100%. It has nothing to do with bashing anybody or anything at all. It's simply coming to like you would have to be foolish not to realize that God is the thing that made America great, and we are on a heavy decline as a nation. There's no argument about that whatsoever.
Absolutely. I love all that. Now let's get into talking about Allied Construction Group.
Yep.
Where are you guys located? What do you do?
Yeah, so we are located, we've got an office in Naples, we've got an office in Miami, an office in Sarasota, and we're opening a few more offices, one coming up in West Palm, and then another one in maybe Clearwater. We're looking.
Right.
We're looking right now.
Okay, so I want you to go back to the very beginning. How did it all start? Because you've got a pretty cool story. Give us a 2-minute breakdown of where you came from and how Allied got to where it's at.
Yeah, so 100%. So I was homeless at 20 years old, and I was cleaning Planet Fitness at night from 10 o'clock at night to 5 a.m. in the morning. I actually graduated top 3 in my class from high school, so it's right after high school. That's only because there's only 2 other kids in my class, and I was the third. It's so funny is I remember sitting at my high school graduation in this small town, and they would do you remember when they would do like those awards, like, hey, you got this scholarship or whatever?
Right.
So there's only 3 people standing on stage to graduate and sitting down, and you would stand up for your award. Well, about 45 minutes goes by, like both my other classmates keep getting like, oh, they got this one and they got this one. The only person who didn't get a single award or scholarship was me.
Oh my gosh.
And so, it's so funny to, looking in that moment. It's not that I was embarrassed, right? I didn't like school. And we've kind of found out that unless you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or something that requires a degree, it's pretty pointless. So thank God it didn't. But, I had looked and I read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and I thought, man, if I can change my mind, I can change my life. And so between faith, hard work, and perseverance, we were able to grow something absolutely incredible.
And you basically changed your whole mindset. You just got into a positive mindset, a winning mindset, and you became a millionaire at 25. Was that right?
25 years old, yeah.
25 years old, you made your first million.
Yeah, I mean, it was, it was broken. I became a millionaire between, my assets and real estate and some different things. So,
Well, yeah. Nobody's. It's very hard to be a millionaire on paper, but yeah, across assets, right?
Exactly. And so, and I did that by flipping houses, and that was really the first construction. So I built my construction business off of flipping houses to begin with. I've been doing this for over a decade now. So when it comes to the construction world, it's all that I've done since I was 21 years old.
Allied became, it's a growing brand across Florida.
Yep.
You guys are heavily involved in charity and feeding widows and orphans.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So that's, that's part of, we don't just talk about it. We do it. So for the past 2.5 years, we feed about 130 kids a day. We build houses as well over there for widows. In James 1:27, it says, pure and undefiled religion in the eyes of God is to help out widows and orphans. And that's across a few other religions as well who don't necessarily ascribe to Christianity, to where it's, that's the main thing. You think about the helpless, right? That's who God wants us to help. So that's our main focus, helping widows and orphans. And thank God for a prosperous business that has given us the ability to do that. And for the great customers of Southern Florida that we service, we're grateful because each one of those clients helps us feed more children, build more houses.
So you're doing this stuff in Pakistan, right?
Pakistan, yeah, Mocan, Pakistan.
Tell us more about the services you guys offer at Allied.
At Allied, so we specialize in storm restoration, but we're a fully licensed general contractor. Fully licensed mold remediation, and fully licensed roofing as well. We specialize in large commercial projects and then rebuilds as well. So if you have like a flood, we'll come in and do a full remediation and build back. That's hard to find as a company. To find a company that can do to remediate it and to build it back at the same time, like that's tough, and to do your roof. So a lot of clients choose us simply because they don't want to have to go with 3 different companies, whereas like we do it all in-house. We've got our ways to make sure that, a customer is made whole and get them back in their homes, which is tough right now because we have a collapsing insurance industry right now. And we have so many clients that are not even in their homes yet, still after Ian, simply because insurance companies don't want to pay the bills because they don't have the money.
Oh, wow. So just because your mortgage company is making you have insurance, right now people are having a hard time struggling with getting their insurance to pay up, huh?
Exactly, and it's so sad because we pay such high premiums.
Right.
And thank God for FIGA. Thank God for Ron DeSantis that he put some things in place to help some of these people out. But it takes a very long time. There are things and there's measures put, but it takes a really, really long time.
All right, Jake, thank you for coming in today. Now, what message would you like to leave us with today?
Time is short. That's one of the biggest messages that I want to leave people with. We were at Sharky's last night on the pier, and my 4-year-old son caught a stingray.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right off the pier. And, it brought me back. It brought me back to one of my childhood heroes, which was Steve Irwin.
Oh, wow.
And remember, he was swimming. Was it a stingray?
It was. He got stung in the chest.
In the chest.
Right.
And I thought about one of the, and like we, with the stingray, we wouldn't really, wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But because I remembered that, I thought about, wow, he woke up one day, just a regular day, and went out swimming. And that was the last day.
He didn't do anything out of the normal.
No, think about like maybe a swim with a great white shark or something crazy, but it was simply a stingray.
Right.
And so that's my message to people: is that life is short. We are not promised tomorrow, but eternity is very long. At the end, think about it. If you lived 100 years, which is a long time, compared to eternity, there's no time, right? 100 years, you're no closer to the end than when you started. So my message to people is really sit down, get out of the rat race of life. Like people, even our most poor people here, compared to people in Pakistan, are rich. To live on minimum wage here, barely making it by compared to the people that we help out in Pakistan, like that's a dream life. So number one, stop. Figure out what you can be grateful for, right? If you got 2 arms, you've got 2 legs, you can function. I mean, you wouldn't like. Let me ask you a question, right? Your legs. Somebody said, "I'll give you $5 million if you for both your legs." Would you take it?
No.
No. Like then you're rich.
Right.
Then you're rich 100%. Like is there somebody said, "Give me your eyesight." What's the I'll write a blank check. How much?
Nothing.
100 million.
Nothing.
200 million.
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. Like we're rich. Like we have lost as a society. We have lost the focus on what the most important thing is. And it's like, for me, my message, people just sit back, relax, figure out what you have to be grateful for right now in this moment, and get out of this rat race of life. We don't really need anything more than what we've got now. That's my message.
That's incredible, man. And we're just here to tell you that you're loved by God, and that this has nothing to do with politics or religion or anything. We're just here to remind you. And Allied is an amazing company who helps a lot of people. You guys have a blessed day, and thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it. If anybody wants to find any more about us, we've got makeamericagospelagain.com.
That's right.
And then for Allied Contractors Group, Sunshine State Restoration.
That's right. We'll put all that information below. Get your hat, t-shirt, and help out this awesome cause.
That's it, brother.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching and learning about Jake's amazing businesses, which funds his ministries in Pakistan. What he hasn't mentioned is that 100% of hat and t-shirt sale proceeds go to feeding the orphans and the widows in Pakistan. Allied Contractors Group has already built 2 homes in Pakistan for the needy. Please check out the link below and check out his services so that he can continue to do this amazing work down there. If you like the content on my channel, please like and subscribe. And if you're thinking about moving to the Sarasota area, please reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. Have a great day.